thing you guys are talking about?
They're modifying the seven. And,
I think he could do the same thing. Tyler. Remove him from all he's ever done. I've seen him at one that was actually.
for a year.
The board is not that strong.
Yeah, yeah. How you doing, sir?
I'll be, hey, come on.
You should have this. Because it's, OIP said you have to just have, even though there's nothing to do. Usually it's there. Yeah. Because I took it off and then, what's his name? The one says, put it in, 'cause that's. OI.
Hello.
Yeah. So just do it. Yeah, you can't vote for.
Okay. Oh, well, let's see if Brandon popped up on my house there. We only have Carol.
Yes. Just let, but even though, you know,
Yeah.
it's still under why
Yeah, we.
somebody asked.
Brandon.
It's more of the, this person doesn't stop, they're gonna come. It's,
Well, it's supposed to.
they should be
Call sewer shits.
until the new plan.
We have up there. Brandon.
Is Brandon up there?
Brandon.
How's it? I'm here. Hi, Wes.
Yeah, he said hi, Wes. And the
Nope.
You look good, Wes. I see you. You look good.
Testing. Am I good now?
You're good.
All right, thank you.
My reception might be a little bit bad because I'm in Washington, D.C. right now.
All right, who do we have on WebEx? God, I can't even see. We have, let me see who's there. Oh, Vern, okay, Vern, you're there? All right. Brandon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, I don't know who else is there. All right.
Ed Lee is on too. I see on the screen.
Oh, very good. How are you doing, Winnie? How are you doing?
Okay. Welcome.
Breeze, I thought I had my agenda.
Welcome.
Get that? Oh, it's here.
I'm gonna move this as a. Yeah, I'm the board. For.
I was supposed to bring a hard copy. My name is Rebecca Bessie. I was supposed to bring hard copies. Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
All right, we ready? Good to go? All right. Do you have my gavel? You gotta go fish. Testing. All right, we're good. Good evening and welcome to Neighborhood Board 14. And I'd like to, first of all, welcome so many new faces. And I think a lot of them are candidates and we want to thank you for joining us this evening. I think you know the rules and first of all, just a couple of administrative announcements. If you have a cell phone, please turn your cell phone off. And if you do want to speak, for those of you on WebEx, I cannot see you, but you have to shout out or wave your hand so we can see you. And for those in the audience, likewise, raise your hand. Before we begin the meeting, I'd like to say that we bid a farewell to our neighborhood assistant, is Spencer Johnson, who had been with us quite a few years. No, he didn't retire. No, he didn't get fired, but he's moving up the ladder. So we wish him the best. We did have something for him, but we'll give it to him later. And it's from all of the members of the Neighborhood Board 14, because we really appreciate all that he's done for us. I thought he was going to go away to get married, but I guess we'll wait for that. But in the meantime, I wanted to introduce you to our new neighborhood assistant, Camelia Gomez. Gomez, all right, stand up, there you go. All right. I gotta admit, you're cuter than Spencer. Okay, let's get started. What I want to do first of all is ask if there are any objections. We all have a candidate forum tonight. But what we want to do is so we give as much time possible for our candidates is to put it at the end of our meeting. Now, are there any objections by the board to have the candidate forum, which is noted as presentations at the end of our meeting? I understand from my neighborhood assistant that we have to adjourn the meeting, then have our candidate forum. Any objections? If no objections, that's what we'll do. Thank you. Okay, first order of business is election of officers. My understanding is that we have to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. And I just asked the neighborhood assistant, do we need a treasurer? We don't even have any money. We don't even.
Okay, hi, okay. It's mandatory to have a treasurer position, so yeah,
Even though we don't have any money.
yeah.
Okay. Another strange rule by the city, but that's okay. All right, so first order of business, I'll open the nominations for chair.
Chair Fong, I nominate Chair Fong to be chair.
I second.
Who is that?
That was me, Brandon.
Are there any other nominations? If not, I'll entertain a motion that the nominations be closed.
I move the nominations be closed.
Second, all those in favor, can we just say aye?
I
All right. Now, I think what we would have to do is, since I'm the only candidate, and I'm going to turn this mic over to our secretary, we have to have a vote. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm the only candidate, nobody else will know anyway. I'm going to entertain a motion that I am elected as chair of Neighborhood Board 14. I'm going to turn the mic over to our secretary because our vice chair is up there someplace. Heavens.
Aye.
And my understanding is that each member, this is by roll call, has to say my name. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I want to see how many of you say my name with gusto.
Can we sing it?
Give us-
He has a song. He has a song.
Let's call for a roll call.
Sure. So nominating Wesley Fong for chair. Roll call. Higa.
Yeah.
Or
Aye.
just say his name, Fong.
Okay.
Kaapu,
Wesley Fong.
Magaoy,
Wesley Fong.
Mitsuda,
West Fong,
now Ota,
West Fong.
Pang, Mhm. Yamamoto,
Wesley Fong.
White, Nita,
Mr. Fong.
Cantrell,
Mr. Fong.
Christian,
Wesley Fong.
and Chair Fong.
Normally I would abstain, but that's okay. Wesley Fong, and
Okay.
I want to thank all of you for your vote of confidence for another, how many years have I been here? But anyway, thank you very much.
yay, congrats, Wes.
All right. Never say that age is a limitation. You're hopefully doing a good job, but anyway. Now I would like to open up the nominations for vice chair. Nominations?
Chair Fong. I nominate Brandon Mitsuda for vice chair.
Are there any other nominations? Yes.
I nominate Carol. And to me, the executive board supposed to be at the meetings and not on the Zoom. And yet, to me, that should be one of the requirements, that the executive board has to be at the meeting. Thank you.
Is that correct, neighborhood board assistant?
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
I request that the executive board members should be at the meeting and not on Zoom.
Well, we do have WebEx available for everyone, so no, it's not mandatory.
It's not a requirement.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Well,
if
therefore, I'll accept.
Excuse me, my turn. If Mr. Fong wasn't here and we had Brandon in Zoom, can we do a roll call?
If
Because-
Chair Fong,
Because, yes, because as far as I'm concerned, the executive board, it rules the so-called meeting for the neighborhood board. That's why my request is they should be on board over here like rest of us to so-called conduct themselves as the executive board and not on Zoom.
So what says you?
I can check for you and get back to you about that. I don't have the answer right now, so.
Okay. So we'll do-
But we are voting for the position. So what, are we gonna leave that position open until we have an answer?
Donna, what I'm gonna do is, why don't you go and double check? And we'll wait, we'll take the election of the vice chair a little later, once you find out what the answer is. But next is position of secretary. I'll just go into that next position. Any nominations for the office of secretary?
I move that we have Chance as secretary.
Any other nominations for secretary? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we close the nominations.
Move to close
Move to
nomination.
Moved by Doi, and who is there a second?
Second,
Oh, seconded by Brandon. All in favor, just say aye.
aye.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion that we elect Chance Ota as our secretary. We'll do this by roll call.
Okay, nominating Ota for secretary, Higa. You can say his name. Papu,
Chance. Chance Ota.
Magaoy,
Chance Ota.
Mitsuda,
Chance Ota.
now Ota,
Abstain.
Pang, Yamamoto,
Chance. Ota.
White, Nita,
Mr. Ota,
Cantrell,
Chance.
Christian,
Chance Nao Ota.
Chair Fong.
Chance, no, Ota. And congratulations, big round of applause for our secretary. Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Motion is carried, by the way. Okay, we do have to have a treasurer, even though we don't have any money, so I'll open the nominations for treasurer.
I nominate Dale White as treasurer.
We're gonna have to have that, again, a ruling on that, because Dale White is not here. He's absent. He's in Norway. So will you double check on that? So I'll hold up in regards to the office of treasurer,
Okay.
along with the office of vice chair, okay?
Sure.
Any objections to that?
No,
Okay, no objections? All right. All right, so we'll hold on in advance, the election of the vice chair and the office of treasurer upon the, I guess, opinion by our neighborhood assistant, whether or not those individuals have to be present if you are nominated. Any objections, any questions? Okay. All right, with that, let's move on. We can do the other business in regards to our meetings. First of all, time, location, and format. I'm gonna go backwards. Anybody object to the format we're using now in regards to our agenda?
Chair, I'd like to propose that we keep our current time and agenda format.
Okay,
Does it have to be a motion?
yeah, well, you're gonna do it all at one time? Why don't you tell for our audience, our time, when do we meet?
We meet at 6:30 at my elementary school, and the format of the agenda is fairly straightforward. It's city, then state representatives, and then now federal, and then we go into community concerns and agenda items.
You want to have that as a form of a motion?
I've moved that this would be we would continue the current form of our agenda and our current time and location.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, thank you, Jose. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we keep the format which we have on our agendas. And the time is 6:30 every second Monday of the month. And the location will be my school cafeteria. When they get air conditioning. Yes. Wow, okay, any discussion? Okay, if not, we need a roll call vote again? No need, all right. All those in favor of the motion, if no discussion? Oh, by the way, any discussion from the audience, I have to give you some. Any questions, objections? All right. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand.
aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion's carried. Next, we have to decide if we want to recess or do you want to go 12 months out of the year? Anybody have any like to make a motion or have suggestion as when we can take it? Just for your information, we did take a recess this past session in December and in June, just for your information, but go ahead.
Chair, do we have any holidays on second Mondays this coming year?
No, I don't know. Can somebody look that up?
Yeah.
No.
Is that a no, maybe, or just no? No,
For the recess meetings?
yeah.
What was the question?
Are any of the second Mondays of state holiday. October. We don't?
What was it, Ethan? October what?
But we don't do.
Yeah, that's a federal holiday only. It's not a state holiday.
I didn't think we celebrated that. Okay, I guess the answer to the question is no, we don't have any state or federal holidays on the second month. Yes.
November 11th is, Yeah.
By all means, I'm going to take a day off.
so November 11th would be a veterans holiday.
Okay, November 11th. Yeah, that's one day we can take off. Any other days, you're going to take off Christmas, you're going to be on way for 2 months. Any other, or you want to go for 11 months?
Can we just table it and say we'll take November off and then if
It's
it
at
comes
your
up?
pleasure, at your pleasure. We can just do the one day. Just do the November.
Yeah.
Any objections? I'll entertain a motion that we take the recess on November the 11th, which is Veterans Day. Okay, is there a motion? Question,
I
yes.
have a question. We're looking into next year also, right? So this year we took off June. Is there a reason why we shouldn't do that or we should do that next year? June?
Take off June too?
I don't know.
It's up to you folks. Yeah, I think we settled on November 11th as Veterans Day because it's a holiday anyway. But if you want to do a June too, that's fine. You want to,
No, I'm just asking the question, whether.
anybody
there
want to
was
make a
reason.
motion, add to the motion that we
Chair
have
Fong.
also take off June? If not, I'm just going to stick with November the 11th.
Yep.
Okay, if not, yes, Chance? No,
I was gonna make the motion, we stick with November for now.
just November.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's already a motion. Okay. Or is there? Was there a motion? Did I entertain a motion that we take a recess for now, November the 11th, which is Veterans Day? Is there a motion?
I move.
Moved by Chance, is there a second?
I second.
Waylon, discussion? If not, all in favor of taking off November the 11th, Veterans Day, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposition? Motion's carried. Thank you. So we'll take off on November the 11th. And if you want another day, we can bring that in the next session. All right. Unless there are any objections, it's been working and I'm going to just do it this way. We have 5 minutes, according to our agenda. We've been with this format for a long, long time. 5 minutes for presentations. That's for presentations by the government officials, et cetera. Unless it's a special presentation under presentations. And then there's 3 minutes for reports. Okay, reports. And I want to thank all of the government officials. They have been very respectful of that. 3 minutes only. Okay. And then 1 minute for any of the audience who wants to speak. And don't worry, we're not going to chime you or gong you or anything, but just try and stay within those time limits. I'm going to ask the question of the board. Are there any objections to sticking with those time limits? How about the audience? Any objections to that or any questions? Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion that we keep the time limits of 5 minutes for presentations, 3 minutes for reports, and 1 minute per speaker.
I move.
Moved by Cora and
I second.
second by the ghost, Brandon. Any discussion? Not all in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? No oppositions, motion's carried. Thank you very much. All right, now that we got all that away, and our neighborhood assistant has to check up on whether or not the candidate has to be present to be nominated, okay? Just let me know when. I'll put that up in advance. Okay. But we do have a chair, we do have a secretary for the time being, okay? All right, first up, I know I saw them. Hey, all right. Welcome to our forum. Every time I see you guys on WebEx.
Thank you. Captain Robert Carvalho from Bikini. Captain Robert Carvalho from the Bikini Fire Station. So I'm with second platoon, but I'm working with first platoon today. Just to let everybody know that we're still in service. So if we have an alarm, we get dispatched an alarm, we'll have to leave abruptly. But anyway, these are the statistics provided below, represent the confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographical area for the previous month, which was June. Should you have any questions, please email the Honolulu Fire Department's Community Relations Office at hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Okay. There was no information that was previously requested. So here are the statistics, the incident statistics for June of 2024. As for fires, we had 1 structure fire. Wildland or brush fires, we had 0. Nuisance fires, we had 0. Nuisance fires include rubbish fires outside of a structure or vehicle. Okay. Cooking fires, we had none. Activated alarms, that's no fire, we had 1. So for emergencies, medical, we had 106. Motor vehicle collision with pedestrian, 0. Motor vehicle crash or collision, we had 2. Mountain rescues, we had 1. Ocean rescues, 0. Hazardous materials incidents, we had 0. Okay. And this is the fire safety tips and announcements for the month. Okay. Fire safety tip, heat safety. Hawaii has some of the highest average annual relative humidity in the country. When it is too humid, our bodies have a harder time cooling down, which can lead to heat-related illness. In the past decade in Hawaii, the average number of hot and humid days and very warm nights have more than doubled due to climate change and are expected to increase. Visit www.resilientoahu.org/subscribe to sign up for updates on heat in Hawaii this summer. Make sure you're prepared for the heat. Okay. Keep cool with fans or AC spaces and in shade. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting clothing. Drink plenty of water. Stay out of the sun. Wear a hat outdoors or take an umbrella. Check on neighborhoods at high risk or heat-related illness. Or check on neighbors at high risk or heat-related illness. Find more resources about heat illnesses, extreme heat, and how to prepare at www.heat.gov. And that's all I have.
Hey, just 2 quick questions. Number 1, the mountain rescue. Where did you rescue this person? What mountain are we talking about?
Let's see, statistics. I do not have the specifics for that particular incident, but most of our rescues in our area are up in the Pali area, Mahu Falls. We go there like it's about weekly,
Okay,
sometimes a few times a week.
I thought it was the Leva Heights. There's a trail in the back over there. I guess not. Oh, that's good. Second question, real quick, we have on the agenda 11E, cause of fire of Natsunoya Tea House. Did we ever find out what the cause of the fire was?
1 second. Okay, the update to the Natsunoya Tea House at 1935 Makanani Drive. That was on February 22nd of this year. The HFD investigator has classified the cause of the fire that occurred on the 24th is undetermined. The fire originated in an area used for storage between two-story residence and the rear of the restaurant. The point of origin as an ignition source is undetermined. The damage estimate is about 784,000 for the structures and 50,000 for the contents.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to close it. It's undetermined. We can, okay. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the WebEx? Okay, if not, Captain, thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. HPD? No HPD?
Hi, aloha, good evening.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Good evening. I am Sergeant King out of the Kalihi Police Station. I am here to report some statistics for you between May and June. In the category of burglary, any home burglaries or whatnot, or commercial properties, we had 2 incidences in June compared to 4 in May. For motor vehicle thefts, we had 13 in June compared to 6 in May. For thefts, which include pickpocket, purse snatching, shoplifting, theft of vehicle accessories, bicycle thefts, thefts from buildings, theft of coin machines or any other type of thefts, we had 18 reported in June, which is up from 9 reported in May. For unauthorized entry into a motor vehicle, there were 11 cases reported in June compared to 4 in May. For the statistic of robbery, there were 3 reported in June and 1 reported in May. For aggravated assault, there was only 1 reported in June, which is down from 2 that were reported in May. For sexual assault or rape cases, unfortunately, there was 1 in June compared to 0 in May. For simple assault, there were only 2 in June compared to 5 in May. Statistics like this tend to go up and down on a monthly. It always just depends. School's out, which means there's more people out and about throughout the days, the nights, and whatnot. Officers are stepping up their patrols to drive around to try and deter the crime. But unfortunately, we only have so many officers with such a vast area from Like all the way up to Pali. We only have typically 4 officers that man that area day and night. I know that there was a city complaint about parking at Natsunoya Tea House. Officers have been issuing citations to help alleviate the neighborhood from any illegal parking. We've also spoken with Natsunoya Tea House about having their customers park legally and whatnot, and we've also been documenting the incidences. Other than that, total calls for service in June were 1,332 compared to 1,252 in May. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Any from the audience? Yes, one question. Go ahead. Can you come up to the mic over here and state your name and ask your question?
Aloha, good evening. My name is Billy Gabriel. I have a question. I did not hear in your statistics the incident that occurred on June 21st. It was an attempted robbery with a weapon at Kunawai Park. And I believe it was also in the news. An 11-year-old boy.
Okay.
What was that again? What date was that?
June 21st, Friday.
At Kunawai Park?
Kunawai Park is an 11-year-old boy, attempted robbery with a weapon.
Okay, let me check real quick. The statistic that we got were part of robbery and attempted robbery, all fall into that statistic. So right now we have 3 reported in the month of June compared to 1 in May. So with robberies, robberies do get routed to our robbery detail for further investigation. Any high profile or additional services, we do refer them to our crime reduction unit, who are always out. We have a day and a night crime reduction unit, and they're always out and about trying to get intel from players out on the streets and whatnot. So they do have their contacts, and we are trying to make as many checks as we can.
Okay, no, I do commend what you all are doing, what HPD is doing. I do commend you. I have a comment, and I'm going to try to keep it to a minute, but really this comment is for the parents out there. Imagine having a gun pointed at the back of your head. You're 11 years old. That was my mo'opuna. That was my grandson. He lives right here on Kwananako Place. And HPD, you've been very good and helpful. Unfortunately, they're going to be closing the case. And he's still out there. And the hardest thing for me as a grandmother is to tell my grandson when he says, "That's okay, Grandma. It doesn't matter." For me, it does matter.
I have a question.
He's 11.
I have a question.
And I told him, you do matter, and this does matter.
I think we all agree with you. What, do you know why they closed the case?
They just can't find, I mean, you know, he's 11 and he tried to recollect as much as he could. The person had a mask on, but he did see the gun. He did feel the gun. And this person, you know, attempted to take his bike. My grandson said, "Grandma, only for a bike?" That's the sad thing. You know, society, I mean, there's no silver bullet answer. You're doing everything you can. You're doing but as parents, you really have to be makala.
And we want to thank you for coming.
So,
forth with
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So, any comment from the HPD?
I always tell people whenever we're out and about that we always have to be vigilant, because unfortunately times are changing. There are a lot more weapons, whether it be ghost guns or whatnot, because you can actually buy parts online to create these ghost guns, which now that plays a bigger part. We also noticed that a lot of people are using BB guns or toy guns, and they're just removing the orange tip, the safety, to make it seem like it's a real weapon. I do say property is not as important as your life. So if someone is trying to rob you for your property, your life is more important. You can always replace your property. Please just give it up and then make the case. The best thing that any civilian can do is try to get a description as best as possible. If they're entering a car, make, model, vehicle, license plates always help. If they are running on foot, the direction that they are running, what type of clothing they're wearing, red shirt, black shirt, blue jeans, shorts, pants, what color shoes, what type of hair, anything that you can give the officers from head to toe will ultimately help the officers in investigating. I do understand when masks come into play and whatnot, and if you didn't get a good look, we will always do our best. The detectives will check around the area for surveillance videos. Unfortunately, parks, there aren't any cameras or whatnot, but they will try and check outside the area in case if the suspect fled in a certain direction, they're going to try and go down that same route to see if they can at least get somebody's video camera on a building, commercial property or whatnot. So I always try and make sure that any victim of a crime, I always make sure that they're educated in a sense to hopefully be more aware of their surroundings, and also that they know what to look out for. I'm
Thank you
sorry
very
that that happened to your grandson, and we hope that it'll never happen again.
Thank you for that good advice. And any questions from the board? Yes.
Good evening. This is Board Member Christian. I have two questions for you on this particular case. The young lady left already probably because very frustrated, and I understand. What are the statutes of limitations for HRS 701-108?
For felonies, it depends on the type of felony. It can range anywhere from a couple years up to, I believe, 10. So it depends on the type of crime and the severity of the felony, because we do have A, B, and C felonies.
Okay, my second question to that is why would this case be closed? Hence, an 11-year-old boy having a gun to his head. Now he needs therapy, I guarantee it. Grandma is upset, I guarantee it. What will HPD do to continue with this case or follow up with the grandma or the child's parent?
So unfortunately, with cases, there's always going to be certain cases that are going to be really hard to solve. If I'm not familiar 100% with this case of the 11-year-old, I'm not sure if he's seen the person other than the person maybe running away with a mask and whatnot. But if a detective doesn't have any form of identifying aspects to try and go after a suspect, even if they saw maybe a tattoo. If they saw a tattoo on the arm, or if they could read or say there was some form of tribal tattoo or whatnot, they could try and make checks, searches. But if we don't have any information, it's like saying that, oh, a local male did this, such and such, right? So how many local males do we have on this island? So it's one of those hard things where 5'7" to 5'9" local male, about maybe 160 to 180 pounds, right? That pretty much describes a good percentage of the island, and which now opens our range of suspects to a really huge spectrum. And it makes it hard for the detectives to try and narrow that down because we want to catch the right person. We don't
Yeah,
want
I'm
to.
gonna interrupt you if you don't mind.
No.
Because we have a candidate forum tonight. I don't want to have to wait, but
Okay.
I think it's a valid question. Why was this case dismissed? So can you do us a favor in the next meeting that we have? I'm gonna put it on the agenda. Can you tell us why it was dismissed? Okay?
Okay, I would have to research the case if I don't have the
That's
case
fine.
number too.
We appreciate that.
Okay,
okay.
no problem, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that okay? Any other
Yes.
questions? Any from the audience? Thank you very much, HPD.
Thank
Moving
you.
right along, Iris, are you here?
Hi, I'm online. I'm homesick, so I'm staying away from you. So,
Stay home. Yes.
okay. So my one announcement is we're inviting everyone to our 2024 annual Unthirsty Plant Sale at the Halava Xeriscape Garden, located at 99-1268 Ivaena Street on Saturday, August 3rd, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Excuse me, hold on. So sorry. The 3-acre garden, a lush oasis nestled in Halava Valley's Central Park industrial area, is a live display of drought-tolerant and native plant varieties. So it's free admission. So you can park on the Ivaena Street and catch the free shuttle to the garden. So we'll have some plants by local vendors, the team of plant doctors from UH Master Gardener Program with plant care advice and information, educational booths including rain barrel catchment information, free soil conditioner, and Cactus and Succulent Society of Hawaii's display of award-winning cacti and succulents. So of course, go to our boardofwatersupply.com. That's our website to get more information. And sorry, and I just do the monthly reports of the main breaks. There was 2 in June. Excuse me. On June 7th near Rook Avenue and June 13th near 1610 North School Street. Excuse me. So that was my general announcement. I had a follow-up from the May meeting, I believe. Chair Fong, you asked. Sorry, let me get my paper out. Chair Fong, you asked about, you heard about some rate increase over and a 50% rate increase. So I asked our communications office to provide me a handout, which I was going to bring tonight, but since I'm not there, I'll just read the message I was going to say is there is actually a 66% increase over the 5-year period, though, not just 1 year, it's over 5 years. So the handout I was going to provide is going to explain a little more about that. but it's it's from 2024 of February 2024. For the example, a rate would be $4.57 for the first 2,000 gallons. For the first, so it's 1,000 gallons would be like $4.57 for the 1,000 gallons. In the year 2028, it's going to be $5.17 for 1,000 gallons. So it's things like that. That's the increase throughout the years. It would be cumulative at 66. So, but I will bring the handouts next month. Sorry. And that's all my report.
Thank you. So actually it's progressive increase, not one big swoop, 50% increase. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
that still means that I got to take less showers. That's all, right?
Shorter showers, turn off the water. Yeah.
My wife always tells me, get out of the shower. No, never mind.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Iris,
Thank
any
you.
questions from the board? Any questions from the audience?
I have a question, Chair Fong. Chair Fong, I have a question.
Yes, who are you?
Donna Kim.
Oh, hi.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, yes, Senator.
Well, a general question for Board of Water Supply. I noticed that your property in the Halava area, there's a lot of feral chickens and a lot of complaints from the residents. The Board of Water Supply doing anything to manage that?
I'll have to ask. You're talking about the Xeriscape garden itself?
Yes.
You're saying they're complaining. Okay, I'll bring that up to them and then see what they say. I can report back next month.
Okay, thank you.
If they complain to you, good to know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, let's move right on. Let's see, filling of vacancies. We have a vacancy in Sub-District 4. Anybody who'd like to stand up and be recognized and help us out here? Don't all rush up at the same time. Okay, that's okay. We're just short one. We're just short one. So if you are interested in joining a board, please come see us, okay? Love to have you. All right, resident concerns, unless they're really pressing, I'm gonna move on. Okay, reports of members from attendance at any other meetings? Anybody from the board attend a meeting that may be of interest to us? Okay, none. Okay, I'll move on. I'm kind of going a little fast on this year. UMPO.
Okay, the Citizens Advisory Committee to the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is for transportation, met twice since our last meeting, June 5th and July 3rd. We did the regular business of approving or recommending approval of different planning or documents, and we had a very interesting presentation this past Wednesday from the Hawaii Bicycling League, which they entitled the presentation E-Bikes 101. Now, we learned about what the definition of an e-bike is, what the regulations and laws are. This was prompted because there are a lot more e-bike accidents, and a lot of kids are riding bikes at school around that area. And you actually have to be 15 to ride the e-bikes. And it's a $30 registration fee one time. And the definition of an e-bike is you have to have 2 or 3 wheels, fully operational pedals. So there are a lot of things that are not, people call e-bikes, but they're not because they don't have pedals. And they have to be under 750 watts power and go under 20 miles per hour with the motor on. It's very interesting. If you're interested in more information about e-bikes, and there's some activities and educational events, go to Hawaii Bicycling League, which is, where's that? hbl.org. You can find more information there. Thank you.
Thank you. Darren, do you have anything to add to that? I got a question. Does the BE bikes come under your jurisdiction?
That's actually, they're going to be operated by the city.
Yeah, I know, but they lost money. Does that mean now the city taking over and they're gonna lose money too? You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer that. It just, I was just curious. I mean, any questions for my follow-up question? No. Audience? No. I'd be curious. maybe you can, if it is in your jurisdiction, will the city make the Beaky Bike more profitable so we don't lose more money? Or we don't lose money, period?
So actually, I think they mentioned, that, Honolulu is one of the, largest users of, those bike services.
I'll leave that to Ed to make a comment. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? No one? All right. Moving right along, representative from the mayor's office, Ed, all yours.
Hello and good evening. Edward Los Banos, Deputy Director, Department of Community Services. I'm the mayor's rep for Neighborhood Board 14. Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. Just 5 highlights from the mayor's newsletter. First one, it was an honor for the city and county of Honolulu to host FestPAC, which is the world's largest cultural gathering of Pacific Islanders. I was kind of jealous. I was away during that time. I couldn't visit the FestPAC festivities or visit any of the booths. I heard it was an amazing event here. Second up was the city took ownership of 400 acres in Kalailoa, the former Naval Barbers Point Naval Air Station. And we're looking at doing more recreational uses out there, including possibly a motorsports track. The next one I have is the city announced its opening last month of the homeless respite center at Liliha Hospital over there in Diamond Head. And what we're trying to do there is take some traffic out of the emergency rooms. I mean, some folks go there for an emergency and they're just not suitable for hospitalization. They don't qualify, they don't meet that. So someplace where they can be clean and heal. That's what our goal is over at Liliha Hospital. Number 4 I have is Mayor Blanchie already kicked off the installation of thousands of solar panels, and that'll cover the Blaisdell Center parking structure. The energy generated will be enough for 100% of the daytime activities over the Blaisdell Center, but it also will have a battery backup that will store power to start deferring some of the costs or some of the energy use for the evening events, which tend to be more intensive in terms of lighting. And then finally, I have Skyline, the city's rail transit system. End of June, it celebrated its first full year of operation, and was able to welcome on board its 1,000th rider. And that was early in the month of June. Next up, they're looking at they're starting operation of the Middle Street from Stadium to Middle Street portion of the track. But by FDA standards, we do have to have so many hours of incident-free operations before we can formally open that track, and we're targeting that at 2025. We open that, make that available to the public. Otherwise, rail has an RFP out on the street for its final section of the rail track from downtown into Kaka'ako. I don't gotta tell you what's happening over in Dillingham and coming down the Kalihi corridor. It's right there. I'm sure you guys drive through it. So my office is right there too. So things I had to follow up from the last meeting. I do have updates for you on the monster homes in the area. First up, 2037 Liliha Street. That project, that property owner pulled a new building permit and is currently working under that building permit. And that one we have reviewed it as a compliant building permit. Last site investigation was done June 6th, revealed finishing work ongoing in the basement. Next one I have is 1604 Hanai Loop. That developer or that contractor pulled a new building permit that is currently under review by the city and county of Honolulu. They did do a site visit June 5th, 2024, revealed the stop work order that's currently in place is being honored. So no new work from the other ones. And like the DPP deputy director mentioned, we do take photos, and so we can measure progress if they have done anything based on the past comparing those photos each time we do a site visit. And then the landmark case, that's just the Sierra Drive property. So that one, the owner has submitted 3 new building permit applications for the new dwellings, which are still under review. But they do have to comply before they move forward. Let's see, other items I have was Member Christian brought up the Kuakini Bridge homeless. Our core team are out of emergency services, that's a crisis outreach response and engagement team. They've gone to that area. They haven't seen anybody, I mean, if you have any photos of, I mean, I'll give you my card. If you have any photos or anything like that, happy to take it. Happy to take any hours that where they're more active, so we can kind of get there and see what's going on and do some outreach and try to remedy that for you. And then the other one I had was the crosswalk at 851 School Street. Not sure if the Department of Transportation has got the right information, but they're telling me they were gonna conduct the study of the intersection. And the reason why I think they might be misspeaking here is because I think the request was only to repaint it, and it's an existing crosswalk. So I need to follow up with them on that to make sure they got the right crosswalk and area. Apologize.
Okay, there are two new items actually on the E, it's a drainage at Napoel Park. Actually, it's only one. Well, I believe that when Representative Takinouchi had a meeting down at Napoel Park, it was mentioned that there was a drainage problem. It's the city property, isn't it?
That's
Are
correct. It is
you,
city
are you good?
property.
Yeah, so you folks can work it out, but this, I just put it on the agenda because they said when it rains, it just,
Ponds, but it doesn't drain and.
it doesn't drain at all.
Got it.
Yeah, so if you can take, that's city property, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. City will take care of it, Representative. Yeah, you can walk, work with that. Thank you very much. Okay.
And then you have dogs on leash.
Oh, let me just say, hey, dog owners, don't get excited. That's nothing to do with you all. What had happened was somebody asked the question in Napoel Park, do dogs have to be on a leash? I says, I don't know. I don't have a dog and I don't go down there anyway. And the number one is that, first of all, we haven't had any complaints. Okay, we haven't had any issues. But someone said, one of the residents says, why don't we remind the dog owners that if they do go and use Napoel Park, that there is a sign. And I didn't know if there was a sign, was I don't go down there. 1 second. This is my brand new cell phone I got for free. But you'd be surprised what I have to do to get it for free. But anyway, there is a sign in front of Napoel Park. I didn't know that. So I went down there and I took a picture of it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ed. This is probably a sign that's in every city park. The following are prohibited: alcoholic beverages, animals, except dogs on leash. It's on there, I don't know. Bicycling, camping, littering, skateboarding, vehicles except by permit. I don't know what that means. But anyway, it's just a notice. So a resident asked me to put that out, and I said before, we haven't had any issues or anything. So I'm sure the dog owners will know that, what the requirements are to use Napoel Park. So I got so many calls for this, more than the homeless. But anyway, don't worry about it. You guys are doing fine. That should take care of it. Yes.
I was reading in one of the newsletters that came out that the bus is starting a new route, bus route 307. And it's starting in August of next month. It goes right through Gulick. Gulick is not going to be they're taking out the bridge for at least 4 months and maybe longer, always takes longer. So I'm like, somebody should tell the bus guys the bridge ain't going to be there because it's starting next month.
Thank you. I'll take that back.
Okay. Yes. Oh, you want to come up to the mic and identify yourself and ask your question, please?
Hi, I'm Margaret Lim. I just want to follow up on the issue regarding the owner at 2647 Liliha, Edward, regarding the storm drain water flooding his front lawn. He said he hasn't heard from anyone, and it's been 2 months. Thank you.
Sorry, what was the address again?
This one was at 2647 Liliha Street.
And what's the issue?
There's so stormwater runoff, right, is okay. Going into these guys' property and it's
I'll put it on the agenda. You can give us a report. Okay. Is that okay? I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I don't have it here. Good. Any other questions? Any comments from the board, first of all? Anything from the audience? Keep up the good work. Thank you. I must admit, our representative is very responsive. Anything we have is immediate. Oh, by the way, for my board, under item 11B and 11D, that's the status of 2037 and 3615 Sierra Drive. I'm going to take it off the agenda because now we know what's happening. These guys are stopped. They're going to have to get it, submit a new permit, then they're going to have to follow the rules. That's the bottom line. The other one is still in review. I want to see what they're going to do. So it is working, people. It is working. All right, moving right along. Let's see who's next. Council member. Council member Tan. Yes. Where?
Yeah, so thanks for the discussion on Napoyo Park. Indeed, dogs on leashes are allowed there. As my office sent out a little letter 2 months ago asking for the neighborhood board input on any other parks that might be appropriate for dogs on leashes. So if there's anywhere else in the neighborhood board area, I don't really think there is, but just in case, please let me know. One of the questions that came up at a previous neighborhood board meeting was Judge Street. There is, we added some money in the budget to consider adding a sidewalk or some kind of safer area for pedestrians to walk along Judge Street between Nuuanu and Liliha. It's up to the administration to execute on it, but we got 60 signatures from neighbors. We're going to keep our online link open for others to sign the petition, and we're going to keep just pressing upon the departments. There's no signature requirement, but again, the more we have, the better. And really the 60 that we have are from a good chunk of the neighborhood. And so that's very helpful in showing the department that this is a neighborhood priority. As long as, you know, I grew up in that area, as long as I've recalled, we've wanted something to be there because it's so heavily used. We had a meeting with 15 Craigside residents. Our office is going to be working on the safety issues along Nuuanu Avenue that they brought up. As you know, a lot of the kupuna at 15 Craigside take the bus. They, you know, are still active and drive around, and just the speeding on Nuuanu Avenue is hazardous to them. To that point, in August, we're going to be introducing some legislation to address speed limits around the island, specifically in school zones. Every time I talk about speed limits, I can't help but think of Steve over on Hala Drive, who's wanted to lower the speed limit on Hala Drive for years. And with our legislation, it's going to give DTS some flexibility to lower speed limits and to reassess them to reduce dangers to pedestrians. Thanks, Carol, for bringing up the modifications to the bus routes. There are additional bus route changes that have already occurred starting last month. Route 2 and Route 13 have modified timetables, and they added more service on Route 151, which is the circulator bus from Chinatown to Kuakini. I added my newsletter link to the chat. It's got a whole bunch of all the other legislation we're working on, including game room legislation. E-bikes is a big one that's going to be coming up later this summer to add in some clarifying legislation around e-bikes. And that is it for my report.
Great, thank you very much, Council Member. Also, I want to thank you for your legislation in regards to illegal gambling houses. Hopefully we'll stop that. I just feel a little remiss that nobody told me where they are. Maybe I'll just kind of check it out on the Liliha Street. But thank you very much. And also what you and I believe Ron went down to Chinatown in regards to the outage. So again, thank you for your due diligence. Questions? Yes, Donald.
There's another item. The item is the sidewalk for Judge Street. Where are we on that?
Yeah, so we added money into the budget. It's part of the city's Complete Streets efforts, but it's going to be up to the mayor and the administration to determine which Complete Streets projects around the island get advanced forward. Again, we're trying to show that there's community support for that sidewalk. So we're going to keep pushing. It may not be a traditional sidewalk because there's some drainage issues and some private property issues. But if it's something as simple as expanding the existing asphalt sidewalk that's on part of that area and bringing that up to standard or doing something like that, it's going to be an improvement.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions from the board? Any from the audience? Any from the WebEx? Council member, thank you very much. Next on the agenda, Senator Rose.
Well, it's been so long since I come to my mind. It's I'm pretty sure it's before the pandemic, so it's nice to be back here. As you're aware, my office has spent some money on trying to keep the from our legislative allowance, try to keep the feral chicken problem under control. So it seems like it's getting a little better. I don't hear them as often, but if you have spots where they're really bad, I will try to do what I can with my limited resources from my office money to have someone go out and try to get them removed. So that's that offer. My phone number is 586-6130, 586-6130, and you can call me there if you'd like. My office manager and I keep discussing whether we should take the COVID stuff off, and then we have a big outburst of COVID, so I haven't taken it off yet. We had almost 1,000 cases last week, 986, 7-day average of 148 cases a day, and 9 deaths. So we're in a COVID surge. I encourage you to keep up with your shots and be careful in what we used to call super spreader events. Wear your masks when you have in your situation like that. Also, if you're over 60, there's a new vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus, which I'm 61 now and I have gotten it. And it's also a good idea because it's not a pretty thing. As with flu shots, of course, it's always a good idea to have your flu shot. Okay, more positive news. We did get some grant and aid money for the Lanakila Multipurpose Center this year, $100,000. I wish I could claim credit for all of it, but very seldom when you work in a body of 76 people, can you claim credit for any one thing, but I did have something to do with it. So glad to see Lanakila moving forward with some extra money. And that's all I had.
Thank you very much. And by the way, we get candor. I mean, levity aside, COVID is around. Two of my friends just got it, and it's still there, and it's pretty bad.
You still don't want it.
Yeah, I understand there's another booster coming out.
I believe I forget what the exact timeline is, maybe late August, early September, somewhere along in there. But it's apparently it's going to be like the flu shot where they have to tailor it to this year's COVID as opposed to whatever was the prevalent one before. So yes, but I am anticipating in the next couple of months there'll be a new shot.
As they say, you can lead the horse to water, but to tell them to take the flu shot, the COVID shot, it helps. I hope.
It doesn't, you don't have to convince me.
I know. Well, we're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for digging in your pockets to take care of those feral chickens. You notice there are none around here.
It seems like it's gotten better. So
yeah.
Maybe I can take that off my report list pretty soon here too. Senator Kim has done a lot on that issue too, just FYI. I think she introduced some bills and stuff on it too.
Yeah.
Well, Senator Rose, if you want to come into my district and use some of your resources, we welcome you.
I don't mind. I'm happy.
Is that Senator Kim?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna make chicken adobo.
I was surprised they allowed me to do it, but it's like, well, it's a legitimate legislative function to try to make your neighborhood better. So
we want to thank you. Yeah. Anyway, board, any questions? Questions? Yes. You want to come up? Yeah, please.
Again, this is Margaret Lim. Senator Rhodes, I just have a question. Are the booster shots really, really safe? Because based on what I know, sudden death syndrome has increased and also heart attack, stroke. So many of people I know have become sick and even blood clots are quite common. Is it really safe?
The short answer is yes. They're some of the safest vaccines that have ever been developed. And they also were developed by the Trump administration. So I went to George Washington Law School. That was one of the first law schools in the country to have a vaccine injury prevention clinic. And so there is always some percentage of people who are injured by vaccines, but you know, it's like most medications, you have to counter it with the good that can be done. But the safety profiles on COVID vaccines is stellar. I don't think there's any other vaccine that's any safer than those. So, but you know, there's no mandates at this point, so you don't have to take them if you don't want to.
Thank you. Any other questions? Not, Senator Rose, thank you very much. Thanks for coming down. Next, Senator Kim.
Aloha, everyone. Good evening.
evening.
I did send out my community bulletin, the summer edition. Hopefully, if you live in Senate District 14, you would have gotten a copy. If you didn't get one and want one, you can reach out to my office by phone or by email and give us your address. We'll get one to you. Likewise, my July 2024 community report was sent out. Sorry, Chair, it came out today. We're kind of shorthanded in the office, so we try to get it 24 hours ahead, but we weren't able. Let's see, the bills, governor's been signing a lot of bills because the veto deadline is Wednesday. Several bills that he signed into law. House Bill 2400 relating to education. It requires teachers who resign or retire doing an investigation into allegations of serious misconduct to forfeit their teaching licenses. And Senate Bill 2475, this also relates to education, establishes a harm to student registry to prevent predatory school employees, contractors, or volunteers from gaining employment in schools. And House Bill 2430, it relates to summer electronic benefits and establish a summer EBT program for our keiki to ensure access to nutritious meals during the summer months. And then we have HB 2024, and this is for long-term care for the Executive Office on Aging and Planning and Development to create a comprehensive long-term care plan for our growing kupuna in Hawaii. And then Senate Bill 2305, this relates to missing persons, utilizes the emergency alert system to establish a silver alert program to protect the vulnerable seniors and individuals with impairments or developmental disabilities that go missing. Also, Senate Bill 2234 relating to noise, bill that I also introduced, adds to the current leaf blower law that prohibits leaf blowers from certain hours, now includes weed whackers. And this is Monday through Friday, I believe, from 8 to 6. And then on weekends, Sundays from 9 to 6 is when you can use them and not late hours or early in the morning. The feral chicken bill that was referred to by Senator Rhodes, Senate Bill 2401, and this allocates funds to each county to help and to augment the city program, because we realize that the state shouldn't be doing a whole different program on its own since the city has a pretty good program already. And so this is to help defer some of the costs, bring down the cost for traps, and to help be able to get rid of feral chickens on private property, because up until now, it's been only on private property. But interesting enough, on the governor's intent to veto this, he did put in to veto the bill that includes funds for the feral program and other type of biosecurity. So that's kind of questionable, and I'm still trying to find out exactly what amounts is he is going to be actually vetoed. But if he vetoes the entire bill, then we're not going to have any funds to appropriate to the counties. Also, is vetoing the appropriate funds to deposit into the emergency budget and reserve fund and pension accumulation fund, the unfunded liability. And he's going to veto that. I'm not happy that he's doing that because I think the unfunded liability is a big issue and we need to continue on in making sure we fund that over the years. Let's see, emergency management. House Bill 2581 removes the ability of the governor or mayor to suspend electronic media transmissions during a state emergency or local state of emergencies. And basically this kind of tries to narrow the governor and the mayor's powers during emergency, state of emergencies. I think a lot of the people were concerned that his powers are very broad. So he has July 10th where he needs to veto all the bills or they become law without his signature. And the legislature have to meet on July 10th, this Wednesday by noon, in order for us to override any of his vetoes. He vetoed, I believe, 16 measures, and he may change his mind on some of them and may have already, but we're not privy to all of that yet. And we need two-thirds vote by both the House and the Senate in order to override any of the governor's vetoes. So with that, open to any questions.
Any questions from the board? I noticed that we do have the right turn on School Street, but that's okay, Senator. We have someone from the DOT to speak on that.
Good, because I have concerns about that too.
Yeah. Any questions from the board? Audience? Not? Senator Kim, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Nice seeing you again. Okay, Representative Tapnochi. No, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Hello, full house tonight. I will just be very brief. I just did want to flag that the biosecurity bill that Senator Kim flagged with the chicken money also has the Rose Ring parakeet money. So I am watching that as well because I know that was interest to the board. I know we took it off the agenda, but we already have an update. So just wanted to flag that. If anything, whatever happens with it, I did hear some things that maybe it would just be certain line item vetoes in that bill. So we're kind of hoping to retain that Rose Ring parakeet funding for us and for Kauai. But we'll update you when we hear more about that. Just wanted to highlight, if you're looking for something to do for you or your kids, Liliha Public Library is doing a bunch of fun things, including a lot of things this week, from story time, happy hours, hollow weavings. There's a teen writing workshop. Please feel free to check it out. These are all free, open to the public. You can find details about the projects on their website under Liliha Library at the main library website, which is www.librarieshawaii.org. Or you can always give them a call at 808-587-7577. And I just did want to highlight some good news. I did have a bill this year that was signed into law just the other week. This is the bill I shared with the board when it passed for the after-school programs for student mental health support to kind of teach the teens, coping skills, emotional support, how to kind of navigate these kind of messy things to give them the coping mechanisms and skills to really deal with being in this really stressful time that they're growing up in. That bill included money for the YMCA who did a pilot project in a couple of schools, and now they're with that money about $900,000 to expand it to additional public schools across the state. That's kind of all I had, just a short update. I'm happy to take any questions or anything back.
Just one question. I have it on the agenda, Senate Bill number 3202. I know it died. You want to just, what happened to that?
No, so it was signed into law.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we talked about it a little bit last time. So right now, so it's signed into law, but basically now the mandate is on the counties
Yes.
to implement what we said for them to do. They have 2 years. On Oahu, they have two options. They can either straight up, do the 2 ADUs per lot, or they have the special district option to go. It sounds a little complicated. We're gonna have to see what the city council is gonna take up and how they're gonna write the law. I'm hopeful that, we can write in more protections for the concerns that, this board raised and a lot of the urban Oahu residents raised, when it gets to the city.
Should I like to keep that on the agenda, but should I just ask our council member what the council is going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where, sorry, not to kick it to Councilmember if he's still on, but that might be better. I'm not sure where they are in the process of who's going to be drafting the bill, who's going to be introducing it. But it's at the
It
council
has,
level.
it has been passed, the bill. I
The
mean,
governor signed it into law a few weeks ago.
okay, I'll put it on the agenda for the city. I mean, can you imagine 2,500 square?
No, that was taken out.
That was taken out.
Yes.
Oh,
The subdivision it's a normal subdivision of 30, like how we always have had it,
oh,
500
okay,
square feet.
all right, thank you. I'm not gonna burden Tyler then. That's fine. Okay, thanks. That answers my question. Any questions from, for our representative? Any from the audience? Thank you very much. All right, let's see. Let's see. Representative May Mizuno. Representative Daniel Hope. How about our governor's rep? How about any representative from Ed Case's office? Okay, moving right along. I need, we're gonna pass on the presentation. That's gonna be at the end, the candidates forum. I need a motion to, first of all, are there any corrections to the minutes of May 13th, 2024? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to adopt the minutes.
Thank you. Zoe, is there a second?
A second.
Second, thank you very much. Wei Lin. Discussion? None? All in favor, raise your right hand. No opposition, motion is carried. Minutes are approved. All right, last thing on the unfinished business, we pretty much took care of everything. Oh, I take that back. Oh, wait a minute. George, are you here? Oh, there he is. All right. Right turn on red. George and I go to the same church, so I don't bug him during mass. So now I can ask you, what are we doing about that?
No right turn on. Well, George Absetti, I'm the Highways Administrator. I'm the civil servant in charge of the Highways Division. So I report directly to the Director of Transportation and to the Highways Deputy. So as far as the no right turn on red is concerned, so we looked at the history before the no right turn on red signs were put in. There were 5 years prior, there were 3 accidents, 3 major accidents caused by these right turn actions. 2 of them involved, 2 of them were major accidents which didn't involve serious injury, but one had a serious injury, no fatalities. After the signs were installed, we've had none. So no major accidents, no fatalities. And so because of that, we're not planning on taking out the no right turn on reds at this time. I know there was a concern about the accidents on Fernandez and Leilani Street. So we took a look at that, and on Leilani, there were, before the 3 years before we put in the signs, there were 3 major traffic accidents, no fatalities, but 1 serious injury. In the 2 years after, since 2022, there's been 2 major traffic crashes, but no fatalities and no serious injuries. Same thing for Fernandez. There was 1 major accident, no fatalities, no serious injuries. And after we put in this accident, put in the no right turn on red signs, 1 accident, no serious injuries and no fatalities. So at this time, we're still looking at it, evaluating, but it's looking good to us. So we're not planning on taking it out at this time.
Thank you very much, George. Now we got it from the horse's mouth. All right, Carol, go for it.
Okay. So with the closing of the Gulick Street Bridge, which is now what most people are doing, is they're turning right on Gulick, going down and turning left on Beckley, and then getting on the freeway on that side. It's going to increase more because all of that traffic is going to stop for at least 4 months, they say, but at least give it a year. So is there a possibility that you folks could monitor that and look at that? Because right now, the backup backs up past Gulick, even with people turning down Gulick and turning down Fernandez and Leilani.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be definitely looking at the traffic around the surrounding area.
Because it's still a pain in the butt.
Thank you. Any comments from, yes, go ahead, Don.
On that, right turn on red, I agree. We should keep it. Because I have seen a lot of time drivers, for some reason, when they turn right, they don't see the pedestrian. Lanakila and school is one of the most hazardous crossing because my wife and I, we walk on that street. And many times we've seen miss, almost hit, but miss. Because the guy or the girl turning right, don't see the pedestrian. So I am for this no right turn on red. Because the thing is that we have to teach these drivers, they gotta respect the pedestrians. And this is one way to show them that, hey, we have too many accidents with pedestrians with cars. And I am for this because I know Vineyard has just like every corner has a no turn on red. And I agree. You know, people might say, oh, the traffic and all that, but how much does it cost a life for you have to wait 10 minutes? And for me, I want this thing to stay. And I want you folks to reevaluate other intersections where you put that no right turn on red. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Don. I'm not,
I-
I'm not going to ask for a sir rebuttal, okay?
Can I?
Oh, yeah, oh, you, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so on the no right on turn on reds, when there's a red light, there are no pedestrians walking. When the light changes and allows them to go, the pedestrians walk. It makes it worse.
Okay. We've had direct and sir rebuttal. Anyway, thank you. Anybody else want to speak on this? For the
Question,
time being, it's going to remain the same, correct? Yes. Somebody?
concern, Chair. Yes, I do. And I
Oh,
re-
Senator Kim,
I'm
yes.
still here. I have two concerns, one with the Leilani Fernandez Likiliki and one on school and Aala. I mean Vineyard and Aala. But for the first one, can you folks look at what the traffic situation is like on Leilani and Fernandez? Because I know you said about the fatalities and so forth, but according to constituents that I hear from, the traffic is bad. And so today I happened to be in the area about 10 a.m. And I went down the street and there was a backup on is that Leilani or Fernandez? Leilani, that leads onto the freeway. The cars, they were like 8 cars at 10 in the morning, all taking that side street. So, you know, I think you guys need to look at that, and I'm not sure what the remedies would be for that. So the second one is on Vineyard and Aala Street. As you come off the freeway and you turn left on Aala, I believe that's Aala, and then turn right onto Vineyard, there's a no right turn on red. I noticed there is, and I travel that all the time, there is hardly any pedestrians, none in fact when I go there. There is no traffic coming down. I really I don't know why that one area has a no right on red. So can you guys look at that and see if there were fatalities and whether or not there's really a call for that one over there?
Yes, I can check the history.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you, Senator Kim. Yeah. All right. Anybody else from the board? Yes, Chance.
Thank you for being here. I was wondering, for the 3 accidents that happened prior to the no right turn on reds being installed, what intersections were those accidents at?
At the School Street Likiliki, right at that intersection.
Turning from going east on school.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have that exact information, but most likely, yes.
Okay, because that's the one we're talking about, is going east.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Any from the audience?
One more.
Okay,
One more.
one more. Go ahead, Carol.
So when we did the site visit, one of the things that the DOT people talked about was perhaps doing 2 left-hand turn lanes going Mackay from School Street. So heading Eva, going Mackay, that turning that instead of one that backs up, 30 cars trying to turning that into 2 left-hand turn lanes. And so he had brought that up. And has there been any looking into that or checking it out, or because
Yes.
that would bring down some of the traffic also?
Yeah, there's a study going on right now. It's supposed to be completed actually next month. So we certainly can let you know what the results of that study are.
What's the name of that study?
It's just looking into the lane configurations of the intersection. So things like Board Member Cobb,
What can we call it and put it on the agenda? Give us a heads up on it. Just give me a title.
lane configuration evaluation. Evaluation of the intersection.
Evaluation of what?
The lane configuration of the intersection.
Lane configuration. Evaluation of lane configuration.
Yeah.
All right. And you'll come back and tell us about it, right?
Somebody will. I'm retiring at the end of the month, so I won't be here.
You're gonna what?
I'm retiring at the end of the month, yeah. So my replacement will be here in.
Oh, man, what
in
you
August.
You're too young to retire. Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
I have a letter from May Mizuno at Hollow Drive and Kapalama. She states that they're requesting a roundabout on that intersection. Can you guys provide us more update on that?
I'm sorry, Don, you want to holla and
Hollow and Kapalama Avenue.
what?
Ala and Kapalama?
Yeah, Hollow Drive and Kapalama.
And what do you want? What kind of update?
Yeah, because the thing is that, I don't know if you know it, but as far as I'm concerned, that intersection for a residential area is one of the highest traffic incidents on Oahu in a residential area.
Okay.
I believe that's a city and county jurisdiction, but I can verify that and let them
Okay,
know
all right.
the concern.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Well, if you don't mind, George, check with the city and then you can report with, and Ed can report on it.
Will do.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Audience? Last chance.
Chair.
By next month.
Chair.
Yes.
Hey, this is Councilmember. For Donald's concern about Hollow Drive, I actually just met with DTS today. That very wide stretch of Hollow Drive between Kapalama and the shopping center. We're hoping to do some stuff in the next few months to try to get people to slow down there. And hopefully that'll increase some safety just because people zoom by.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Councilmember.
So no need to report on that next month?
No, I think we got.
Yeah, we're on it.
The main guys. Yeah. You don't have to come back.
For that question, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you, everyone.
Any other questions? Thank you. You gotta tell me after, what are you gonna do? You're so young. You can't just retire. Never mind. I'm not on this forum later. All right, let's see. Last unfinished business. I think, wait a minute, we finished, yeah, unfinished business, we finished with that. New business, I think we finished with everything except G. Liliha Palama Christmas Parade, and many of us did participate last year. It was very nice. And I'm gonna ask Vern Nakamura. Vern, you're still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good. All right. All yours.
Okay, I just want to make an announcement that the Liliha Palama Christmas Parade is planned for November 29, 2024. As usual, it's the day after Thanksgiving. Start time remains at 5:30, and it's the same parade route as in prior years. The only change this year will be the Kamehameha Lions Club, which I'm also a member of, will be hosting or sponsoring the parade. The key to that is the Kamehameha Lions Club has a foundation. So in the past, when we asked for donations to support the parade, it was out of the goodness of your heart. But now it'll be tax deductible, and we're a 501c3 organization, so your donations will be tax deductible. The reason I'm making this announcement tonight is as part of the city and county parade requirements, you need to make an announcement and to allow community feedback and comments. So if anybody has any comments, questions, if they can channel it through the neighborhood board, and I'm sure somebody can direct it to me, Vernon Nakamura. But this is part of the process, so which we did last year. So anybody had any comments or concerns? So that's all I have. I'll be at the next meeting. Thank you.
So 29th November, what time?
Same time,
5:30.
5:30 at the United Church of Christ on Judge Street. That's the staging.
And will they have a car for me?
Probably not. We're limited to as
I know.
many only 8 cars from
all the
the
beauty
Corvette
queens,
Club,
I know,
and they're
I know.
volunteers. So
All right.
unless you want to be Santa Claus this year, Wes.
Hey, I ask every year. I mean, see, I think we should get, all right. Anyway, all right. I know where I am. All right. But thank you very much. Any
Okay,
questions?
thank you. That's all I have.
Do you need,
I'll
do
be
you
at the
need
next meeting.
board
Give
approval or
questions.
support? Vern,
Last
you
year,
need board's approval?
there was board support, and that helped.
Okay, first of all, any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Anybody want to have a motion to support this, the Liliha Palama Parade on the 29th of this year?
I move to support the Liliha Palama Christmas Parade.
I second.
Moved by Don, seconded by Chance. Any discussion? All in favor of supporting the Liliha Palama Christmas Parade again on the 29th of November? Signify by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. Vern, you got your approval.
Thank you, board. Thank you, board members.
Except my vote
And
was.
we hope you will join us again in the parade, please.
Never mind. Okay, anyway, you can keep us posted as what to expect.
Yes, I'll
We-
keep you folks posted.
We'll carry our banner again. And so
Yes.
thank you very much. It was fun. And I thank everybody who did join us. Yeah. Okay,
Chair Fong,
Thank you.
yes.
over here. Sir, when it comes time for a representative to appear in their meeting for safety, I'll be the one to apply.
Oh, good, very good. Thank you very much.
Yes, we'll,
Okay.
Chair West,
Yes.
we'll be having the safety meeting on November 21st at 6 o'clock, and I'll bring more information. In order to participate in the parade, a representative needs to come to the safety meeting, and that meeting will be held on the 21st at 6 o'clock at the United Church of Christ. But I'll give a fact sheet to the board later.
Thank you very much, Darren, for volunteering to be the rep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Any comments? Yes. Oh, okay. Vern, did you see it?
Yes.
Ron wants directly to you or to the neighborhood board? Okay. You hear that?
I can't hear. Sorry.
Come to the mic.
Can you please shoot me an email? My name is Ernest Carvalho. Yes, so I am the
reaching for zone one chair for the D50 lines. That means Kamehameha lines are under my wing. Send me an email so I can get everybody involved in this. And I definitely want to get the board for neighborhood board 13 involved in this too. Yeah.
Good. I'll tell you what, how do you want to do it? Do you want to email them directly? And Vern? Or maybe you can.
Can he email me? You guys are breaking up. I didn't even get his name.
You got him. Okay, we'll give you his name, Ernest Cavallo. What I'll do, Ernest, what you to do is email me, then I'll forward it to Vern. It's easy that way. Okay, Vern, I'll just forward it to
Right.
you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your.
Thank you.
support.
Thank you, Ernest. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anybody else on the board? Anybody else in the audience? Okay, moving right along. Liliha. Who? St. Francis. No. Lanakila Multipurpose. Yes, Carol.
Yes. First, they want to thank everybody for coming to the Going Green and bringing your electronics and things. They got a really good response. They had a lot of things dropped off and they had a lot of help to unload it. So it went really well. They also wanted to say thank you. They did get their grant and aid, and that was already reported earlier. And then was quite an amazing fact to know that Lanakila's Multipurpose Senior Center made 12,000 tea leaf leis for Memorial Day. That's a huge number. Coming up, they have a candidate fair this Wednesday from 9 to 11. So those who want to meet, those seniors out there who want to meet candidates, that they're open for that. And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, if not, Friends of Liliha Library? It's not. Any other nonprofit organizations? Okay, if not, just announcements before you adjourn and have our candidates forum. Monday, August 12th is our next meeting here at My, again at 6:30. I want to thank all of you for coming. And I want to most so before we have a forum, thank all of our candidates for coming, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. What's going to happen is I'm going to have a motion to adjourn the meeting. We'll adjourn. Maybe we'll take a couple of minutes, and I'm going to turn the mic over to our chair, and I want to thank him. His name is Chance, and he will be running the forum. Is that right? Okay, if there are no other questions, no more announcements, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
Oh, oh, Wyland moves in a second.
A second.
Second, by Darren. Discussion, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Okay, no opposition, motion is carried and the meeting is adjourned. So stick around for a couple of minutes and then I'll turn it over now to Chance. Chance, you can sit over here or what do you want to do it?
I can stay over here.
Okay. You. Oh. Right.
Governance, yeah. And Indian French. Did my. Yes. The other things sell that. Died. So I'm going to have a business.
But anyway. I'm not supposed to.
Oh, I'm not. You know, years ago, so I was on that house program, and I worked at after-service houses with silk. Yeah, ever since then, like, we went to Maui together. And we came just for like 24
So you gave them the questions that you.
I know.
The questions. Oh, the board will take everything. What kinds of? Oh, I see.
Oh. She just raised. Okay. Oh, that's fun. Well, tell us. I'm sure I'm gonna see her because we haven't.
And then
Christine with a Y. And he's.
Outside of,
you guys are very.
All of them. The colors are and silver. They are and silver. It's the sky. I look great. Yeah, so in our backyard is the forest. Yeah, any.
They have an. And I know I said.
Sure, I know, I'm for it.
Oh, if you, I mean,
Somebody called, third one. Telegram. No, you didn't stop.
It's around 360.
Oh,
90.
Yeah, sent a picture.
I saw. My gosh, so scary.
I mean, I'm not a border.
You think about it. But I can. Back up.
Oh my God.
I think you're seeing like
Oh,
house.
boy.
So good, but I road.
It's so sweet. I told you.
Regarding the home. Yeah, I think that was, I mean, I was sure that I was at our meal, but.
Yes.
Thank you. Touch base after. Oh, candidates, residents, and board members, we're gonna get the candidate forum started. If everyone may find their seats, please. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Allow board members, candidates, and residents. First off, I'd like to take this time to thank everyone for joining us for Neighborhood Board 14's 2024 Candidate Forum. I would also like to take this time to thank the candidates individually for coming out and spending their night with us tonight. Thank you to Wallen Christian, Margaret Lim, and Jenna Takenouchi from District 27. Thank you to Ernest Carvalho from District 28. And thank you to Ikai Kahasi and Carol Kaapu from District 29. Thank you guys for also coming out tonight and RSVPing with us for our candidate forum. The rules for this forum are as follows. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves to the public. They will then have an opportunity to answer 2 questions of their choice, limiting their answer, please, to 1 minute per question. The questions the candidates will be answering are questions which are provided to them ahead of time by this board. We'll go in order of the district, starting with District 27, then District 28, and then District 29. With the order of the candidates being chosen at random through a name picking process. Basically, we'll be picking the names out of a hat, but yeah. When your name is chosen and you are called up, please come up to the microphone. When you begin speaking, that is when the timer will start for you folks. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, no questions. Let us proceed with choosing the first candidate. From District 27, if we can have Margaret Lim come up, please. Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
So just introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ready. Hi, I'm Margaret Lim, and I'm running for State House for District 27. The reason why I'm running is because I want to make a difference in our community and in our state. Being born and raised in the Philippines and moving here 37 years ago, I realized that, we live in a great state, in a great country, and whatever achievement we have accomplished, I want to live that same legacy to the next generation. And also being aware that currently in our legislature, we have 68 Democrats and 8 Republicans. I really see that as a major problem in our state. When we look at our roads, our crime rate, our homelessness problem, and high cost of living, I know this is the result of that one-party system. As my desire to serve our state and our community, I do have the goal of improving things. I'm not a good communicator, but I am a person of action. With my proven success in my real estate career, being a small business owner, an investor, I know that I can make a difference. I have good work ethics, and I'm also hardworking, and I am a person with integrity. So I know that I will make a difference, and with my life experiences, I know that I can bring our community together by engaging with the church, with schools, and in our community. So I hope I will be given a chance to be our representative for the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Oh, Margaret, sorry if you can come back up. Just answer the 2 questions. No, you're good. Thank you.
Any question?
Oh, no, sorry, the 2 questions of your choice.
Oh, 2 questions of my choice. So one of the question is, what is the major issues affecting my neighborhood? So it is the people in our constituents doesn't feel safe. They want a safe environment. They want safety in schools and also safety in their home and also safety in the roads. So my solution for that is to, as I mentioned earlier, is to engage with the different aspect of our community, which includes the law enforcement and also our constituents, and everybody have to work together. As far as crime rate, I do believe in the work of the neighborhood watch. We need to engage with them also, and just basically getting people aware that we need to help each other and watch out for each other. Second question. And for the second question, I think the question is about the major issues that affect not only our neighborhood, but our state as a whole. I think that one is about the rising cost of living. As we have seen, as I mentioned earlier, the democratic dominance in our state has got us to where we are today. I think we need to cut government spending, more accountability for all government officials. And also, we need to provide more tax incentives, basically tax credits to small business owners, especially those that have closed down during the pandemic. We need to help them reopen or get into a new business. At the same time, in order to improve our workforce, I think we need to give some tax credits to people who will be getting second jobs in the next year or two. This will increase our labor force and ease the shortage that we have right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lim. Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself when we first started this. My name is Chance Nawal. I'll be the candidate forum moderator for tonight. And then I have Foy Yamamoto helping me out with tonight as well, helping me out with keeping track of the time. Thank you, Cora. If our next candidate may come up, please, Jenna Takenouchi. You can start whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Great. Hi, members of the board, everyone who joined us tonight. Good to see everyone. I'm your current state representative, Jenna Takenouchi. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, right now I live in Pu'unui, but I actually grew up over in Paoa Valley. So I went to Paoa Elementary School, Koa Middle School, then over to Roosevelt High School. I graduated from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Just 3 years ago now, time flies, I got a Master of Management in Library and Information Sciences online with the University of Southern California. I just like to use my introduction to say, you know, these past 2 years have been one of the greatest privileges of my life to serve this community. I think I've really focused a lot of my time on doing outreach to residents, you know, sending out surveys, making my office open to phone calls, emails, in-person visits. I've tried to do town hall meetings, come out into community with different kinds of events like our little park talks we tried out that I think will be continuing. I got a lot of good feedback from that. You know, I just really feel like the reason I took this job after the last 2 years is more than ever clear to me that what I really want to do is be connected to all of you out there and really represent your interests at the legislature to see how we can make Hawaii a better place for us all. And then just any 2 questions?
Yeah, any of the 2 questions.
I think one of the questions was, first question I'll address is, what do you plan to do to improve our Liliha, Pu'unui, and Alewa Heights neighborhoods? One thing I've tried to work and I think really needs to be focused on is the walkability of a lot of our older areas, you know, through Alewa Heights, through Liliha, through Pu'unui, where I am. The sidewalks, the narrow streets, the overcrowding we're seeing is really stressing the neighborhoods. I've been doing work with certain communities to address speeding. I've really tried to collaborate with the city and push our partners there to do complete projects like our Complete Streets Uwanu, which was supposed to do, you know, a lot of road diet and safety improvements. I've tried to put in offered funding up to the city for projects that the state can help with, because I think with the older areas, it's really kind of an all hands on board to it's going to take money to do some of these improvements that I know the city might not have, and hopefully the state can help with. And the second question, I guess, so the question about what among the issues among the many of the district is facing would you identify as the most pressing in today's world, and the solution? You know, I think I continue to hear about crime and homelessness. I think we've started this past year to do a lot of changes to kind of get at the root issues of that. And I think a lot of that starts in the work I've been able to do as vice chair on the Health and Homeless Committee around mental health and substance abuse programs. You know, I think this is a population that either is ending up on our streets or committing petty crimes to do drug-seeking behavior. So the more that we can do to support them from falling into these situations, where they're going to need to do, be on the streets or do these illegal behaviors. And then the more that we can do to kind of get them into supportive programs, we just opened the EVLA Behavioral Crisis Center that the state funded for the rest of the year. The bill I talked about for kids to keep them from getting into these crisis modes. We passed great things in our Assisted Community Treatment Act bill this year to mandate things like if you're going to go on parole, you have to have mandatory mental health screenings, and they already do substance abuse screenings to really kind of keep people from falling through the cracks. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rep. Takenouchi. If we can have our last candidate from District 27 come up, please. Swallen Christian.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wallen Christian, and as you saw, I'm a member of the Neighborhood Board 14 here. I was born and raised on the island of Oahu, NIL, so I am not originally from this Liliha area. However, I moved here in 2018, and when I moved here, I was really surprised at the amount of homeless that was here, and that's one of the issues that I will be tackling. As far as for my introduction, I'm basically a regular person who wants to stand up and speak for the people. I am of Hawaiian descent, and I will say that because I do want to fight for our Hawaiian people, but at the same time, I need to fight for everybody because we all live on these islands. Also graduated from high school, went to college, graduated with 4 degrees. I think a lot of those accolades are great. However, the main accolade that every person should have is for the love of the people. The love of the people and to speak up for them. And the reason being is because no matter where we come from what area, we all want the same thing, and that's freedom. Freedom to stand and freedom to live the way you want to live, as long as, in my opinion, you do not infringe on anybody else's rights. And that is my fight. I stand in the testimonies of the city council and the legislature this past session, and oh my goodness, like if you see what's been happening, there are just so many bills that are passing that are against our people as a whole, and that's a problem. And the main problem is because the people are not understanding, majority of the people here who live on the islands and also the other islands, they're not understanding what's going on. And that's what I want to bring to the table, is to share with them all of that. I am a voice for the people. I do speak up for the people. I think the main thing for me right now is, as we're running and with Jenna and with Margaret, I think in a combination, we are in a good place. However, what is the person or persons gonna do for the people? That is the question I think everybody needs to ask. What are they gonna do for the people? And that's what you need to figure out. As far as for my questions, I'm just gonna roll right into the questions.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stop, because if I stop, I'm gonna lose my focus.
Thank you.
So there's 4 questions that they gave us, and when I looked at those questions, I kind of noticed that question 3 and 4 was similar. And they were basically asking, what would you do for your district? So we are in District 27. What do you see as the greatest problems? You've already heard the answers from the other 2 candidates, and I stand with that. My biggest problem, I come from a background of criminal justice, and it's crime. In Liliha, I'm really surprised how much crime we have. I see all of the tagging of the buildings, and our friend's building was just tagged at Conversations Cafe. And there's nothing that they can do. So we need to figure out, how do we decrease crime? My main goal is to collaborate with HPD, with the neighborhood, with the with the community, and with Neighborhood Watch. You know, it's unfortunate that right now the criminals are being enabled to be repeat offenders. And our law-abiding citizens are the one who's suffering. And that needs to flip. That is one of the main things I do want to do. The second part is the homeless, just flowing, okay? So for the homeless, we all know we have a problem. I was the one when Edward spoke to me tonight about the Kuakini Liliokalani Bridge, the stream. It is, I've spoke to people who live in that area. I live on that street. And we do see the homeless there. Now, thank God when they went, they didn't see the homeless, but they're there. Just because you don't see something, that doesn't mean it's not there. And that's what we need to address. We need to figure out what the root cause is. Homeless, you have mental health issues, you have drug use. Jenna has just spoken about that. I promise I do have it on my paper. So we need to deal with that. Now, I've never been in legislature like Jenna has, so that's something that I would have to learn. I've been in the building, I haven't been on that other side. I will gladly learn everything I can and fight for the people. Another question was if you will commit to come to the neighborhood board meetings. Well, I'm a board member, so I'll be here. So that's an automatic. You know, there's nothing else I can say about that. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Christie. Okay. Thank you to the candidates from District 27 for coming out. Let's move. Hello? Sorry, that was cutting out. Moving on to District 28, if we only have one candidate who are speed with us and came out tonight, if Mr. Ernest Carr, and I'm sorry if I butchered the name, Carvalho may come up, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ernest Carvalho, and I'm running for House District 28. A lot of course times people says, well, you've never been in the position. You don't have the experience. Well, I do have the experience. I am the chair for Neighborhood Board 13, 3 years running now. I've been vice chair there. I was the president of the Honolulu Chinatown's Lions Club. I am now the director of the Honolulu Chinatown's Lions Club. For the state of Hawaii Lions, I am now Region 4 Zone 1 chair. I am a 32nd degree officer of the Freemasons of Hawaii, Hawaiian Lodge. I am also an officer for the Knights of Rizal, of Jose Rizal. So I do have a lot of experience. I do a lot on the ground. I've worked a lot, very hard in Chinatown. And anybody that knows me sees me on the streets. We put on community walks and all that. If you look at Chinatown today, Chinatown is getting better. It's much better than it was 10 years ago. And progressively, it's getting better. People are coming out. They understand that. So I do understand what needs to be done. I am a United States Air Force veteran also, yeah? So this is all great. My opponent himself will always say that the difference between me and him is that he was born in Kalihi, he's a Kanaka, and he went to Kamehameha. For me, there's no difference. I was also born in Kalihi. I am a Kanaka, but I went to the lower campus and not the upper campus. So therefore, I went to Fountain. Go Governors. That's my introduction. All right, so as far as the questions go, I will have to agree between 3 and 4. They're all basically the same. And we've heard everybody touch on this. Crime is a major issue. Yes, homelessness is out there, but homelessness has so many different arteries that goes to it, yeah? Most people that are homeless in Chinatown, in our neighborhood, are homeless because of addiction. And they're gonna continue to be homeless because of addiction because they don't want the help. And we're not giving them help because we don't have the infrastructure built to put them into establishments for rehabilitation. That we need to focus on. But we need to definitely focus on crime. We need to bring our people together. We need to bring our police out here. We need to better street lighting out here. We need better surveillance. And we need to get our officers walking a beat every single day. Because without our officers on the streets, crime will continue to happen. So these are things that we need to do. I can get into more than that, but it's been addressed by everyone else. As far as the other question, will I be here? I'm going to answer that because there's a lot of people you see that are never here. First of all, let's get one thing clear. If you're a state house representative, the neighborhood board plan does not tell you you have to be here. This is only out of courtesy. But if you're going to become a state representative, you should be out here because you need to connect with the people in your district. How do you connect with the people in your district? I understand you got the 3 months you're going to be in office. If you can't make it, your representative needs to be there. The people need to hear from you. The people need to see you. And you need to hear from the people. And you got to realize that they do not serve you. but instead you serve the people. So the only way to serve the people is by listening to the people and hearing the people and showing up whenever they need you to be there. And these board meetings are very important for that. Thank you once again. My name is Ernest Caravallo for House District 28. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caraballo. Now moving on to District 29. Score. May candidate Carol Kaapu come up, please.
Aloha. My name is Carol Kuipai Kaapu, and I'm a candidate for House District 29, which is Kapalama Heights and Kalihi Valley. I've been a member of this neighborhood board for over a decade, and I'm very familiar with our community. I'm seeking to bring that knowledge and understanding to our legislature. After working in the House of Representatives for 8 sessions, I have a deep understanding of what it makes for good laws. The people of our community need help. My neighbors that catch the bus at 5 a.m. to go to work every day, the grandma watching her grandkids so their parents can go to work, the family trying to find a caregiver for their kupuna. Our community works hard, but they are not thriving. We need to support small businesses and working families. We need to deal with the criminal element that is targeting our kupuna and our neighborhoods. We need opportunities for our young people to get good training and good jobs so they stay here in Hawaii. We need legislators who look to the laws being passed and how they will impact us. Common sense is not so common these days. Grand ideas that increase the cost of living to our neighbors are not the way to have our community thrive. If you feel we need change in the direction of our economy, please vote for me, Kaapu Carol Kuiwai, for House District 29, Kapalama Heights and Kalihi Valley. Okay, the first question I have is, what do you plan to do to help improve our Liliha, Pu'unui, and Alewa Heights neighborhood? I am and will continue to be actively involved in our community. A representative coming to this neighborhood board from Sub-District 3 has not happened since I joined this neighborhood board over a decade ago. We need someone in that office listening to us, the residents, and our needs. I would make it a priority to listen to my constituents and work with them on issues they are facing. And the second question is, what issues among the many issues your district is facing would you identify as the most pressing in today's world? What would your solution to that issue be? So the most pressing issue I feel is the increasing cost of living. I think the legislator made a big step this last year in finally adopting what I have been advocating for many years with the state income tax cuts. But that needs to go one step further. We need to stop the general excise tax on doctors, medicine, and food. Imagine how fast those savings would add up. I also think we need to reform our shipping laws, mainly the Jones Act, to bring down the cost of almost everything we buy because it's all shipped in. And thirdly, we need to increase our food production in this state so that we have agricultural jobs and fresh, nutritious food. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaapu. And our final candidate for the night from District 29, if Ikai Gazi can come up, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for sticking around. I'm the last thing keeping you from going home and having a restful night's sleep. So thank you. I appreciate it. My name is Ikaika Hussey. I live in Kalihi Valley by the Pink Store, if you know the geography of Kalihi Valley. But I'm also proud to say that I was actually born here, well, in Liliha. And my parents used to live around the corner from Liliha Bakery. And my mom is a lifelong supporter of that important institution. She goes there a lot. She loves it. I'm really, and it's really an honor to run for this office. The reason I'm running is because I really love our community. I love our people. And I also am frustrated, seeing what they go through to live here in Hawaii. Every day I go door knocking, and I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of our residents. And what I've heard consistently are some recurring themes, which I'd like to share just a little bit. Our people really want sidewalks. Very basic, but also really important. Our people are frustrated about the state of our public schools. There's one wonderful community leader that I met who is the president of her school's parent-teacher association, who is organizing a fundraiser from her own dollars and from the dollars of other parents to fix the bathrooms at their school. Something which no parent should ever have to do, right? It's really embarrassing, I think, for us as a state that parents have to carry that kind of burden. And just some other small little things, like, for instance, the budget of the Hawaii Tourism Authority is $30 million more than the budget of our public schools, of our public libraries, excuse me. And the starting pay for a teacher is $12,000 less than the pay for a legislator. Some ways in which I think our priorities are sort of backwards or upside down. Now, I raise these not to suggest that these are easy problems to fix and that simply electing one person or several people is going to make all the difference. These are hard problems. And what I bring to the table is experience outside of the governmental sector. And so I'm going to go right into the questions that the board proposed. The first one is, will you attend these meetings? And absolutely, that's an easy yes. The second thing which I wanted to comment on is, what are the issues or problems in neighborhood 14 that are top priority? And there's two. One is, I'm sort of a parking nerd. I think parking is actually a really fun and interesting issue. And parking directly relates to what you raised, Jenna, about walkability. Because at least in the Kalihi side of the district, and I think it applies here in Kapalama as well, is what should be sidewalks is often parking, right? And the way that we handle parking in our community often kind of pits neighbors against each other, vying for valuable parking spaces. And I'm really interested in how they do parking in Japan. And just the one takeaway from the Japanese experiments with parking is they are very thoughtful about using off-street parking to relieve on-street use of that important real estate. And what I'd like to do, at least for Kalihi and Kapalama, is to do an inventory of where is there available parking so that we can take people off the street and have dedicated parking that they can use. So I'm thinking about, for instance, churches, public and private schools, the public parks, even places like Kamehameha Shopping Center, where there's ample parking available. And I think it's possible to create a policy, some sort of umbrella policy that allows for that additional parking to be utilized for the general public. So a real simple thing. The second thing is the Hala Kapalama intersection. One thing that I'm really proud of for myself is I'm very active in the nonprofit sector and in the private sector. And I think nonprofits actually can play a really important role in addressing some of the day-to-day issues that we deal with. So what we're doing on the Kalihi side is we're setting up a nonprofit to do beautification projects. And we've gotten an engineering firm to donate their a free design for a redesign of Hala Drive, the portion that Councilmember Tam was talking about earlier. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Husby. And then that concludes our candidate forum. Thank you to all the candidates for coming out and sticking around for tonight's meeting. Thank you to all residents as well. I grabbed the wrong mic. Thank you to all the residents as well who stuck around to watch our candidate forum. If you guys would like to, the candidates have put up materials and signage up in the back on the stage of My Elementary School. If you guys would like to take a look at it. And then just a few words from our wonderful chair. Thank you.
How about a big round of applause, first of all, to all of our candidates. Thank you for coming out. I was very impressed and inspired by your presentation, seriously. But at the same time, I want to really thank Chance and also Cora for organizing this forum. We're only one of the very few neighborhood boards that does this forum or has done this forum. So I want a big round of applause for Chance and Cora for organizing it, not only the candidates, but also the questions. So again, thank you all for coming. And, you know, we can leave. We don't have to leave at to 9 o'clock. So you folks can stick around to 9 o'clock and all of you have to get out of here. No, but thank you all for coming. So as candidates, you can stick around and ask any, answer any questions. But again, have a great evening. And again, thank you for coming.